Hi guys, welcome to another beer review, and if I remember to do so, this is going to be a week of supermarket beers because I put my life and the lives of the vulnerable who I surround myself with in my own hands and took a trip to Tesco's the other day. We needed to get some free from food for my niece because it's hard to get food. And Tesco's have a really good range that catered to those needs. So while I was there at the Wigan Tesco, no queue to get in, wasn't too packed. I was quickly in and out and was able to get 1.5 kilos of flour because they're doing them in like these big bags now. Tesco's like unbranded for like £1, and it just looks like a big bag of cocaine. So, cocaine at one point was easier to get hold of than fucking flour, but that's changed. So, yeah, the Rona's got me. No, you shouldn't joke about that. Well, if you don't joke about stuff, then you're just going to live a life of misery, aren't you, really? But, anyway, so I went to Tesco's, and the Wigan Tesco had pretty much the whole range of more recent Tesco beers. I know I'm late to the party on this one, but with lockdown and stuff and living with vulnerable people, it's not like I can just go on a jolly, every week. But I thought, yeah, we need stuff, and I pretty much bought the same amount of beer I would if I was going to a bottle shop because the range was really good, and I even had Lost Cosmonauts, which I've kindly gifted to my younger brother. Stupid me, because that's a gorgeous beer. So yeah, Wigan Tesco's, man. If you're anywhere near and you want to get your cheap beer fix, they've got a whole range. The only one that they didn't have in stock that I was looking for was the peanut butter jelly from Northern Monk, which I was just really excited to try that. Anyway, so we won't worry about that, and hopefully I will remember to upload Tesco beers for the rest of this week, even though by now you've seen everyone and their anti, reviewing those beers. So I thought to start off on a brewery who I'm a big fan of, but I've not drank enough of. I was lucky enough to drink actually at the sort of like tap room, gig space, pizza place with Rob when I was visiting him. See him such a while ago now in this new world that we find ourselves in. And yeah, some really good beers, and yeah, Tesco's now is an 8% double dry hopped IPA from Track, and this is Ikat. I'm sure this is a Monsieur Oiseau song, name that as well. Ikat's probably, you put an I in front of anything nowadays. And yeah, to be honest, my hair, no one talked about it, nobody mentioned it. It's not doing too bad since, you're not allowed to go out and get your hair cut. So yeah, Ikat, there's actually a definition of the word. An Indonesian method of dyeing, wrap and... what? Oh, tie-dyeing and... you stupid idiot. An Indonesian method of tie-dyeing warp and weft yarns before weaving. So fucking... I'm an idiot. I'm an actual idiot. What's the word that I'm looking for? The opposite of articulate. And somebody who really doesn't know words. That's me. Although I sound like, Oscar Wilde would do if he came from Skem. And number 2 is a smooth, double dry hopped, double IPA with intense tropical fruit and citrus hop aromas. I am so sorry, I don't know what happened to me now. Anyway, let's get this open and see what we get. I can't remember what the other IPA I've had from Sol was on the channel. Picked up from Booths. I can't remember, it was bonkersly good though. So I've heard a lot of good things about this. I'm not sure if I might have drank this when I was with Rob, or if it was just other beers. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. So beer in the glass then, and that's got a lovely sort of like darker look to it. Little hints of amber, although it is hazy. It's got that orangey, like freshly squeezed, you know, juice look to it. So it's a little bit darker than some. One finger's worth of a slightly off-white head, ever so slightly off-white, but it's looking nice and hearty in the glass so far. So let's see what we get on the nose. It's got like a soft, like slightly sweet, creamy feel to it on the nose. Feel? How can you feel a smell? It's got some slight dankness there. Ever so slightly savoury as well. It's got that sort of like generic tropical character, and when I mean generic, I don't mean like, I don't negatively mean that in a negative way. It's just got that sort of, you know, that smell and you instantly think, oh, tropical. Without being like distinctly like mango, pineapple, coconut or whatever. It's almost got like that, like freshly opened Haribo Star Mix. Anyway, it smells good, so let's give it a taste. Cheers, guys. Don't worry, the sooner I get this drank, the sooner this mess of a review will be over. Cheers. And cheers to Domo for introducing the masses to some really, not only really good beers, but also interesting breweries. So I'll drink to that. Cheesy as fuck. Let's just get it done. Ooh. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's a really dank, hazy IPA. It's resiny, it's oniony, garlicky, like you've browned them off or caramelised them in brown sugar or something like that in the pan. There's a pininess to it. It's not as tropical on the flavour as you would expect from the nose. It's more like a slightly, I'd say it's more like bruised savouriness. You know, like fruit gets bruised and it dries out slightly and it's got a savoury character. Not that, you know, I'm an expert at fruit, clearly. But yeah, it's like a slight citrusy bite. There's really not too much going on with the beer itself. Nice upper medium mouthfeel. But it's really satisfying, especially at that ABV of 8%. I like that a lot. When was this? January, well, best before was 28th of January 2021. Not too sure how Salt would be dating these, whether they do it differently for their, you know, sort of their own independent market or for beers that they have sold in supermarkets. I think a lot of the supermarket beers are just beers brewed the same way as they would do. It's just a lot of the stock is allocated to supermarkets. I think there's like this slightly unfair stigma that a lot of supermarket beers get, where it's like, oh, well, they're not putting that much effort in because they're brewing it for Tesco's. I mean, of course, you've got to take cost into effect when, you know, Tesco's are buying the beer from the brewery. You know, both parties have got to, obviously Tesco's going to come out better, you know, at the end of the day, because they're selling the beer. But, you know, I don't think a lot of these breweries would jump into bed with Tesco's if they knew that their product would be tainted. And Salt, you know, they've got a lot of respect behind them and a lot of expertise. So I think this would taste just the same as if you bought it straight from the brewery. Obviously, supermarket, there's a chance it might be a little bit older than you would like, but yeah, no matter what, how they age it, whether it's 4 months or, mind you, like 6 months, or if it's a year, well, it can't be a year, can they? Because they've not had this in the supermarket since January. What I'm trying to say is I don't know if it's a fresh can. But either way, if you like your savoury, dank, you know, double dry hopped IPAs, or double dry hopped double IPAs, I should say, that don't focus on sweetness and overly fruity characters, which, don't get me wrong, love, then you could do much worse than this. It's just got a little bit of character to it compared to some of the other stuff, which is really, you know, excessively fruity, sweet, soft, pillowy. But But yeah, this is like, it's got a little bit of almost like brawn to it. I was going to say it's got a bit of balls, but then, you know, I don't want the sexist label thrown on me. But anyway, review's a mess, but the beer isn't. I really like this and I would happily buy it again. In terms of a rating for Ikat, or Ikat, I'm not sure it's properly pronounced because I'm an ignorant prick. The way it looks, because obviously the image is reversed because I'm looking in the selfie thing, it looks like it says taxi. And that's really funny for some reason. Anyway, yeah, lovely stuff. For £3, you could do much, much worse. Do you know what this kind of reminds me? Kind of reminds me when, and I know I'm saying the B word, I'm sorry, but you know in Brewdog, like proper back in the day, had that Tesco's Finest American IPA, which is just like a repackage of, was it Hardcore or Jackhammer? I can't remember. It's reminding me of that. It's like a real sort of abrasiveness to it, but it doesn't go too far, so it doesn't become unpleasant. But yeah, lovely stuff. Highly recommended if you see it. And if you tried it, let me know your thoughts, opinions. If you're a fan of the brewery, then let me know. I'll put the web shop down below as always. And yeah, so look out tomorrow because we'll be reviewing another IPA. And they're all going to be pretty much light beers for this week. So yeah, look out for just IPAs, pales, and the sour. Keeping, you know, that common ground. There's no common ground, so unfortunately. Anyway, lovely stuff. Off to a good start with these Tesco beers in this more recent wave. I knew they would be good. But yeah, anyway. Nearly 10 minutes. Let's cut it short. See you guys later, and you take care.